Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. If everybody could please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a need for an executive session right now? Okay. We do need to go into executive session for discussion on contractual issues. May I have a motion. Thank you, Kathy.
Second.
Thank you, Eddie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, we are going into executive session at 6:03 p.m. We'll be back as quickly as we can. I'm going to that room.
I have to end the recording. I didn't do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, we are going to reconvene to regular section at 6:07. Correspondence, you should have had a letter from a parent in your packet. Policies for first reading, there are none. Policies for second reading, there are none. That brings us to our first opportunity for comments from the public. Please remember that there will be a second opportunity towards the end of the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to convene into the public comment period of our meeting. Although state law does not require us to hold a public comment period, we have chosen to do so because we believe it is crucial for us to hear from our community members about their concerns and issues. Having said that, please note that the board is here to listen. The public comment period is not designed to be a discussion. Accordingly, please do not expect the board to respond to your concerns and questions tonight. This is because we take your concerns and questions seriously and want to have sufficient time to process and research issues if need be. We will, however, respond to your questions and concerns at a future meeting or have the proper staff member get back to you at the appropriate time. Ms. Forkey will be keeping track of questions and make sure that they are passed to the appropriate person or persons. I also want to point out that under the state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to entertain any comments or questions about school personnel. Please know, however, that we take personnel concerns very seriously. On these matters, we would like to ask you to go through the appropriate administrative channels. Finally, we recognize that right now our nation and our community are polarized on a number of issues. That said, we want our school board meetings to serve as an example to our students that members of our school board and members of our community can deal with controversial issues in a civil manner and demonstrate mutual respect for one another. In that spirit, we will insist that all speakers and members of the audience maintain civility and respect for any divergent views that others possess. We ask that speakers please address their comments to the board directly rather than the audience. It is in the unlikely event that the meeting becomes unruly, the board will recess the meeting and return once order has been restored. The board will now entertain public comments. Each individual speaker is allotted 3 minutes. The individual time limits will be enforced so that as many members of the public who wish to speak may be allowed to do so. Please state your name and residency before you begin. Is there anybody who would like to speak this evening? Okay. There will be a second opportunity at the end. That brings us to commendations.
Okay, we would like to commend the Whitney Point High School Chorus for their spring concert held on May 17th, 2022. The following Whitney Point Middle School and High School students for their induction into the Tri-M Music Honor Society on June 1st, 2022. Logan Griffith, Taryn Hitt, Isabel Keel, Kimberly Peterson, Madison Heath, Isaac Jordan, and Kaylee Nichols. Whitney Point High School graduating seniors for completing college credits through the Tompkins Cortland Community College and SUNY Broome Fast Forward program. The Whitney Point High School graduating seniors for completing programs through Broome Tioga BOCES. Coach Montesano, Assistant Coach Houston, and Whitney Point Girls Varsity Lacrosse Team for earning their Section 4 Class D Championship held on May 25th, 2022. Ms. Guzman, Ms. Macaluso, the CEA students, and the many others who were involved in the CEA Spring Festival held on May 17th, 2022. Mr. Jones and the high school chorus for their spring concert held on May 17th, 2022. Mrs. Williamson and the high school band for their spring band concert held on May 19th, 2022. Mrs. Williamson and the grade 7 through 8 concert band for their silver award at the NYSSMA Major Organizational Festival on May 18th, 2022. Mrs. Pullen and the 6th grade band for participating in the NYSSMA Major Organization Festival on May 18th, 2022. Mr. Jones, Mrs. Williamson and the high school chorus, select chorus, jazz band, concert band for their placements at the Cedar Point Music Festival competition on May 21st, 2022. Select chorus was first place with an excellent rating. Concert chorus was second place with an excellent rating. Jazz band was third place with an excellent rating, and concert band was third place with superior rating. Mrs. Williamson, Mrs. Pullen, and the 7th and 8th grade concert band, 7th and 8th grade concert chorus, and the 6th through 8th grade jazz band for their placement at the High Note Music Festival in Lake George on June 3rd, 2022. 7th and 8th grade concert band, superior rating. 7th and 8th grade concert chorus, excellent rating. 6th through 8th grade jazz band, superior rating. A lot of wonderful things happening in the music department. Whitney Point athletes Tyler Barney and Emma Morgan for receiving the Character Counts Award from the Section 4 Interscholastic Athletic Conference on June 2nd, 2022. And the following high school seniors for being honored at the College Showcase on June 6, 2022. Kelsey Barrows, Emma Morgan, Reese Abrahamson, Mackenzie Suma, Jane Ostenfeld, Lindsay Davis, and Harley Pratt.
Very nice. Okay, we next move to, there is no old business. We then move to the approval of the consent agenda. Please note that the modified football positions have been removed from the consent agenda and will be addressed at a later date. So everything that's in there for this coaching positions remains in except for the modified football. May I have a motion? Thank you, Kathy. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tom. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We're going to move to the addenda to the resignation.
Can that be tabled?
I know, but we still have to do the motion and second and then table it. Approve the resignation of Marcus Maslin, cleaner, effective June 1st, 2022. May I have a motion?
So,
I have Tom and Kathy. Unfortunately, this evening, we will not be able to act on this. Mr. Maslin would have to abstain from voting, and that leaves with less than a quorum. So we will have to table this resignation until our next meeting. Back to the regular agenda for appointments. Be it resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve the 4-year probationary appointment of Victoria Scalabrini, English teacher in the English teacher tenure area, effective September 1st, 2022. The probationary period of September 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2026 is tentative and conditional only, except the extent required by the applicable provisions of section 3012 of the education law. In order to be granted tenure, the teacher must receive composite or overall annual performance review ratings pursuant to education law, section 3012-D, of either effective or highly effective for the required number of years, And if the teacher receives an ineffective composite or overall rating in the final year of the probationary period, the teacher shall not be eligible for tenure at that time. May I have a motion? I have Kathy and Eddie. Any questions or comments?
This is from Marcy Turner's.
This will be replacing Ms. Turner's position. Any questions from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Did I? Oh, I'm sorry. I did skip one. Resolution to create a position. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools for reasons of economy and efficiency, the operation of the district and the district schools, the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District hereby creates one new full-time tenure track instructional support teacher position effective September 1st, 2022 as follows. Instructional support in the math tenure area. May I have a motion? Thank you, Tom. And a second? Thank you, Eddie. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We need to approve the 3-year probationary appointment of Kayla Crayley, elementary education teacher in the elementary education teacher tenure area, effective September 1st, 2022. The probationary period of September 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2025 is tentative and conditional only, except to the extent required by the applicable provisions of Section 3012 of the Education Law. In order to be granted tenure, the teacher must receive composite or overall annual performance review ratings pursuant to Education Law, Section 3012-D of either effective or highly effective for the required number of years. And if the teacher receives an ineffective composite or overall rating in the final year of the probationary period, the teacher shall not be eligible for tenure at that time. May I have a motion? Thank you, Kathy. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments?
This is for Kelsey Howard's position.
She will be replacing Kelsey Howard. Any questions from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We have an appointment on the agenda. Be it resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve the appointment of Amber Darrow, bus monitor, subject to fingerprint clearance. May I have a motion? Thank you, Kathy. And a second? Thank you, Eddie. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Transportation request. Approve the following transportation requests for the 2022 to 2023 school year. All of these go to Central Baptist Christian Academy, Caldwell Moore, Madison Moore, Phoebe Moore, Camille Morrison, PM only, and Troy Morrison, PM only. May I have a motion? Thank you, Kathy. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Non-resident applications. These are the following. They're students of staff members to attend the school district for 2022 to 2023, and that tuition will be waived. Lucia Corvo, kindergarten. Piper Cross, grade 1. Delia Jones, kindergarten. Lily Lantry, grade 1. Carter Loros, grade 9. Kimberly Peterson, grade 10. Victoria Peterson, grade 12. Hunter Phillips, grade 9. Camden Rounds, grade 2. Keaton Rounds, grade 9. Kenton Rounds, grade 5. Jameson Scott, grade 3. Nolan Scott, grade 5. Hannah Smith, grade 11. Ryan Smith, grade 8. Olivia Tillotson,
grade 4, Silas Tilliston, grade 2, Madeline Tyler, grade 8, Luna Nova Ward, kindergarten, Allison Williams, grade 6, Brady Williams, grade 4. May I have a motion? Thank you, Kathy. And a second? Thank you, Eddie. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? We do have one more transportation or non-resident application on the addenda. Leah Humphreys to attend for the 2022 to 2023 school year, and the tuition be waived. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. And a second? Thank you, Eddie. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the FCCLA field trip proposal to Camp Aldersgate in Greek, New York, July 25th through July 27th, 2022. May I have a motion? Thank you, Kathy. And a second? Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Authorization to unseal an open ballot box and destroy ballots from the May 18th, 2021 budget, school vehicle, capital project vote, and Board of Education election. Be it resolved pursuant to Education Law 20346B that at least 1 year has elapsed since the budget, school vehicle, and capital project vote and Board of Education election. And upon information and belief of the Board of Education, there has been no challenge or proceeding commenced, and as such, the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District does and hereby authorizes the district clerk to unseal and open the wooden ballot box and destroy the official ballots contained therein, together with the unused ballots, if any. May I have a motion? Thank you, Kathy. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We took care of everything on the addenda. We did. That brings us to superintendent update.
Just two issues. One is the Board of Ed summer workshop. You may remember we collected dates when everybody was not available, and then Stacy sent that to the School Boards Association, and they replied with 2 dates that did not work for us. So they are going to go back and look. They have a team that does that, so they're going to cross-reference, but hopefully Stacy will get that information quickly and then connect with you even before the board meeting so we can all plan. Okay. And then door access. I mean, you may have heard the conversation at the beginning of this meeting. We're obviously looking at all of our security protocols. We are looking to not have doors open. And while we want to be open to the community because we are the community school, we also have an obligation to make sure that we have our 1,400 students and all of our employees safe at all times. And given the state of things happening in the world, we are looking to figure out workarounds so that people could still access the areas they need to access, but not open the whole buildings. And we also are looking to, we just had a presentation today to formalize some of our audits of our practices and make sure that we have everybody all the time up to date on like the latest training. Unfortunately, every one of these terrible events, law enforcement learns from. So we want to make sure that we have a regular routine of keeping everybody safe and that we are providing the appropriate training and that our buildings are as secure as possible. So again, to the community, like we don't want to have our buildings closed for their use, but we just need to make sure that they're used in a safe and secure manner so that, somebody can't compromise things.
Okay, that brings us to our second opportunity for comments from the public. Please remember that the statements read for the first opportunity remain the same as the second. Is there anybody who would like to bring anything up this evening? Okay, that brings us to Board of Education comments. Do any of the board members here have anything they would like to say?
I just, real quick.
I know there was some discussion on the baccalaureate and that kind of changed how we were doing it. And with the letter that went out, I do appreciate that it does say in there that if the local churches are opening up to people that are not just in their congregation. I know over the years, I attended a lot of these and I was very pleased to see there were lots and lots of students that weren't really affiliated that were still attending. So to make that available, I think is really important. So thank you.
And thank you, Joanne, I know this time is very hard for everyone. It's not like it used to be to run a school. We have to look at everything each day. So thank you for being open and honest and doing what you're doing and looking at the security of the children and everyone, even the people who come to the building, the security of them too. Thank you.
Okay, we will be recessing the public meeting in order to once again go into executive session. For continuing discussion on contractual. And directly after leaving executive session, we will be closing the regular meeting as well. So we're going to recess at 6:27. May I have a motion? And a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Thank you, everybody, for attending this evening. Short and sweet.